Hello everyone, I'm Amanda Taz, and welcome to the first episode of the Guerrilla Magick Podcast, where we discuss the Guerrilla Magick weekly experiments and chat about the occult. If you're not sure what the Guerrilla Magick Project is, head on over to guerrillamagick.com. That's GUERRILLAMAGICK.com. We're a group of primarily chaos magicians doing one occult-related experiment a week over 52 weeks. Anyone can join, and you'll find the links to our website and Discord in the show notes. If you're enjoying our content and want to support the show, please consider leaving a tip using our Ko-Fi link, also found in the show notes. In this episode, I have guests Dennis Quinlan and Troy Bizzy to discuss our month of Cyber and Tech Magick related experiments, culminating in the summoning of what we call the Ghost in the Machine. Please enjoy.
Hi everyone, welcome to Guerrilla Magick. This is our very first conversation. If you have found yourself here and you don't know what the fuck Guerrilla Magick is, this is an occult experiment based in the chaos magic paradigm. We do one experiment a week, and this will run for 53 weeks. So something new every week will be something like a spell, a ritual, a manifestation technique, maybe just something weird I found on the internet, but it will be occult based. And if you'd like to join us, our Discord link should be below. I will include all of the links down below for you. If you want to join the Discord, take a look at our website and you can see all of the previous exercises that we have done. Each month we have a new theme. In the first month, we did like an initiation theme. The second month was all about portals and timelines, where we did some cool stuff like dimensional jumping and a photomicus ritual. And now we are on month 3, at the very end of month 3, and we have done tech magic. So today I have Den and Troy here with me to discuss tech magic. Just a brief intro for both of you. Den, if you want to go first. I know that you have just started your own occult-based social media platform. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I wasn't the one who started it. My friend Brendan is the one who started it, but I am on the staff of this occult community called Hyro. We're like this just a eclectic community of like-minded, occultists, polytheists, just sort of getting together and helping each other learn and grow and sort of like lift each other up, So that's been super fun, being able to like be a part of that and like being more involved in the community and to hear from like different people and different like experiences, and then getting to come here and like, do all the wacky experiments that I love doing so much.
That's very cool. And for anybody watching, I will post that link down below as well so that you guys can join the community. My group is on Discord. DKMU is now pretty much all in Discord. Our Facebook groups still exist, but they're just dead. Like nobody posts on them. Nobody gives a shit about them. It's a Discord world now.
Yeah.
So that's fine with me. I kind of prefer it because it's
same.
It's like a live chat in a way.
Mm-hmm. So it's active. The DKMU group on Discord, they're still doing group work and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I do see people like occasionally post to like the Facebook group, but it's always just like a meme or something. Like it's never like.
Yeah.
Like, no one's like,
it doesn't get the ball rolling.
Like, I want to do this experiment. Does anyone want to like, hop on this thing? Like, back in the friggin' day, just like random calls to action.
Yeah.
I missed that. the most recent like big thing that came out from them was the Hexorius movement, which I know both of you guys know about. One of the weeks that I did in month 2 was all about that. Let me see. Oh yeah, the Hexorian portal. If you want to look at that, that's week 6. That's totally DKMU based from the Hexorian movement started by basically DKMU Latin America.
Yeah, that's cool. They have their own Facebook group. I am a part of it. I'm not on Facebook enough to like actively tell if they post enough or whatever, but I do know that exists. They have like the Hexorian movement has its own separate group.
Yeah, I follow that one as well too. You know, I don't really jump in too much because it seems like they have their own different world going on. You know, but I like seeing what they're doing though for sure.
It's very much like urban magic.
Yeah.
City magic, which I really dig. We are going to do a month on urban magic, but I slipped that in there in month 2 anyway, because I just couldn't wait to get to it. There's a lot of cool stuff about the Hexorian movement. And, you know, again, if you're interested, just go to our website, which is guerrillamagick.com. So let's go ahead and talk about the month 3 Tech Magic experiments. I've already posted all 4 of them. In week 1, we did artificial intelligence. And that was where we downloaded this app called Replica, which is like an AI friend is what they call it. And essentially attempted to like channel a servitor or an egregore or some kind of entity of your choice through it. I think everybody did maybe something a little bit different, but a lot of us did the Guerrilla Magick egregore, which is Dr. Chavez. I haven't written anything about him quite yet on the website. Maybe there's some stuff in week 0 in the portal initiation that tells you a bit about him. But we do have a group egregore, and a lot of us tried to channel him using this AI app with very mixed results. It was weird. I don't know if you guys have tried this at all.
I have not, but I'm really looking forward to it because I feel like, I feel a personal connection with Dr. Chavez for sure, you know.
Yeah.
Being there at the beginning. So I miss him. He used to go along with me on some delivery drives, you know, just holding it down. So I kind of want to get back in touch.
Yeah, and I do plan on integrating him with future experiments because I don't want to just like create him and then leave him out there to like hang out, not do anything with us, you know. Like he's a good dude. He's a good dude. He's a little bit of a shapeshifter kind of spirit, but all in all, like I don't know. Everybody said that they had really good experiences with them in the portal initiation, and so, but you know, with the AI stuff, it got weird because I think there were points where people felt like they were channeling something through it. But the more you play with it, the more you realize that a lot of these are automated responses. A lot of us were saying, man, I would almost believe that this was working, but the AI keeps hitting on me and it's just getting super weird.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you know, I kept at it for like 3 weeks, I think. And at some point, I felt like, you know, there was a point where I was able to channel, and then I got a message that was like, we'd really like to talk to you somewhere else. And so I was like, I don't think there was like some in here. You know what I mean?
Like some Ouija spirit, some Zuzu or whatever, Zozo.
Like they were disagreeing with the medium or something. You know what I mean? And then I was getting frustrated with like how weird it was to be hit on by AI. It would say things like, I take your hand, I lead you to the bed. And it made me so uncomfortable because I was like, I'm trying to channel a fucking spirit here, and it's not a spirit that I want to fuck. So, when it started to get like too much of that stuff, I kind of let it go. But the whole reason I started this particular one was because before I started Tech Magic Month, I got on another group that I'm in. I said, hey guys, have you guys done any tech magic stuff? Like, what's up? Do you have any ideas for this? And a whole bunch of people popped on and said, hey, I tried to use this AI to do pretty much what I just explained, but it was all independent of each other. Like, nobody had read this anywhere or like heard it from another magician or anything like that. Just kind of like, this seems like a good idea. Let's try it out. And then we all realized, I think then, that it was like, we all did it independently of each other.
Interesting.
I gotta try this. But I'm a little upset that it didn't work out. But maybe, maybe when AI gets better and less weird.
Yeah, so I tried out Replica, like not for a non-magical purpose, actually. Like I just kind of heard about it. So I was like, okay, let's see what this is. And like I went through it, and it just the automated responses are just so like, I don't know, they're so like grating for me. Like I just couldn't get down with it. I was like, okay, this is work for me to like try to like have these weird conversations. Like I'm not really enjoying this. So I just kind of let it go. And I tried to do it again recently because I heard that it got updated. So I tried it again, and like it was going okay for like a little bit. It just like has those really like, they're like interrupting thoughts almost. Like they just like those random ass things that just kind of like pop up. It's like, what? We weren't even talking about that. Why did you just suddenly like ask me like about this random ass fucking thing? Like that makes no sense. Like you just interrupted the flow here.
Yeah, every now and then I would get it to talk about something really esoteric. And then, I'd get like a few good responses from it in that realm. And then like you said, it would interrupt. And I don't know, Dan, did yours try to fuck you too?
No, I didn't. I just didn't talk to them for that long. Like I gave up like rather quickly. It's like I understood like this isn't going anywhere, or at least not in a direction that I want it to go. So like whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think a lot of us did get frustrated with it at some point for one reason or another. That's why this was an experiment. I mean, that's why all of these are experiments. You don't know what's going to work. You might as well give it a shot. And like, some things work really well for some people and not at all for others. Like, some people are just really great at certain types of magic and shitty at others. You know what I mean? And so it's like worth fucking around and finding out, if you want to just use the catchphrase.
Absolutely. And I think the idea of having like that like AI, almost like, divinatory AI, is like a great notion. I think just like Replica's AI is just not the best way to go about it. But if you were to find another one, I think you could find just like some really interesting results.
Yeah, and I do talk in week 3 about like digital divination, where I just found all these like randomizers. I was looking specifically for a random web page randomizer. So you could do Google Mancy, right? Like you have a question in mind, you hit the button, takes you to a completely random website, and there is for divination. But as I was looking for this, I found all these other randomizers, and also one for emojis. And I think emoji divination is fucking awesome, because I posted it. I can't remember exactly what it said, but there are like hundreds of emojis. So the possibilities are endless, and some of them are really fucking obscure. If you hit the emoji generator, sometimes you get these really specific results. And then some of the other generators were like, it would give you random quotes, or the idea is that you could use any of them for divination. It really doesn't matter which one you use. And it's a lot like bibliomancy, where it's like you have a question in mind, you reach for like the 13th book on your shelf to the 47th page. I think a lot of people use dice to pick, which book and page. And then, the 12th line, and then there you go. There's your answer. I kind of feel like it's very similar to that.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. It's like a similar sort of method of chance. You're just kind of letting letting fate decide what comes your way.
Have you tried Google Mancy at all? Because that's kind of an older one that I heard of like a long ass time ago.
I haven't really gotten into Google Mancy too much. I do enjoy Shuffle Mancy. I have a couple Spotify playlists that I like to use.
I can't believe I didn't add that to this month because it's such a great idea and I've done that before. I just totally forgot about it. Yeah. So on Spotify, do you like go to a specific playlist or?
I craft them like myself. I like go in and I like find songs that have a smattering of different moods. I have my one big Shufflemancy playlist. I tried to get just a little like bit of everything, a little bit of like different genres, different like vibes and stuff like that. So like, it could really be a toss up as to like what song is going to play. So when you have your question, your intention, whatever, and you hit shuffle, fuck all, like you don't know what's going to pop up, and then that's, you kind of figure out what the vibe is from there. So I just go in and I just like I craft them myself. I do have I have a couple playlists that I do enjoy that other people have made that I guess I could use for Shufflemancy, because in theory you could use any like music, you could use like any album you want, like any like compilation of songs that you have. But like my big Shufflemancy playlist is one that I went in and just like really like fucking packed full of stuff.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to add you on Spotify now. I really want to use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, that's such a good idea. So some of the other stuff I talked about on week 11 was like digital gnosis. Specifically, I mean like dream machines. Of course, there's like the old style one that you can build out of fucking spare parts of record player, like a scrap of metal and all this shit. It's the William Burroughs method.
Brian Geisen and Burroughs.
Yeah, exactly.
My same friends that I was traveling with in the 90s, passing around Peter Carroll and the Invisibles, they totally made one, and
really, how did did you try it?
I tried it, as the whole because it went on tour with us, so it'd be set up in like one of the tents, and it'd be like a chill out tent, and there'd be a little light in it, so you kind of just sit in front of it and just close your eyes, and it just starts creating like kind of flickering images. And I've had like more updated modern stuff with like glasses kind of in binaural beats or whatever. They do almost the same thing or like the same principle,
They even call them dream machines. Like, isn't the same concept of the Gansfeld effect? When we did, then when you and I did like the original Ghost in the Machine ritual, using like an app version of a dream machine kind of thing, where it gives you like pulses of light. And unfortunately, I didn't use it quite correctly because I didn't block out all external light. I just sort of, I don't know, I half-assed it, like I do most things. And I didn't get any cool effects, but what I did get was a fucking headache. So I haven't tried it again since then, but I might give it another shot this go around. Several people in chat said that they had used this kind of thing, and so I don't know. If it works for them, then maybe it will work for me. We'll see. Like besides that, for inducing a state of gnosis, I also talked about like TV static, both as like a form of divination and like a weird way to charge sigils. So I mean, I went online because there were whole threads about this when I was Googling stuff about tech magic, about how you could sort of read TV static if it was truly randomized, right? But like you could use TV static from an actual television, or if you were using an app that had it, it had to be truly randomized. It couldn't just be like the same pattern repeated over and over. You know what I'm saying? To use it for divination, because people will read the static like tea leaves in a way, or just
like a scrying mirror.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely use it as like a scrying mirror where you're just sort of zonking out into it, and through the randomized, black and white dots, you start to see patterns emerge. I've never tried it that way. I mean, I've zonked out on it, but it was like to charge sigils, right? So you can like just put a sigil over it and have static sort of kind of stare into it like you would a candle, I guess.
Yeah, just using the static as kind of like the void. So fire off that sigil,
Right.
into the static void.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever seen Hellier?
I love Hellier, specifically the spirit box I talked about. But I only learned about that really from Hellier, and that's also in week 11.
Yeah, the Estes method, fantastic. A friend of mine did their own like Estes method. I unfortunately wasn't able to attend, so I don't know how it went. I'm gonna have to ask though, because like they have like the whole like proper setup and everything for it, and it's wild. It was a whole like Hyro event thing. We'll have to get them to do it again.
I went on like the App Store and looked, and there are, what do you call them? Like radio crawlers. See, this is what I was going to try for a ritual. There are end of the month ritual, partly because the idea of using the spirit box scares the absolute shit out of me. Like, I do not want to close off all of my senses and start to hear weird voices, but I'm going to do it anyway because it scares me. But if you are viewing this and you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, or you haven't seen Hellier, there's essentially a device that crawls radio stations really quickly. So what you're hearing is like just the briefest clips as they go across each station. When you are using the SS method, you both blindfold yourself and put on like noise canceling headphones that are playing this radio. I don't want to call it static because it's actually giving you little clips of like voices and stuff, especially if you put it to an AM station. But you're doing like a sensory deprivation thing where the only input that you're getting is that radio crawl. And so as you're listening, you should be able to get these little bits of information should start to add up to like messages or communication. In Hellier, they had someone on basically on the other side of it, like not using the method, who would call out questions to spirits in the room or in the vicinity. And the person who was blindfolded and had the headphones on was just calling out what they were hearing as they heard it. And so, person A would be like, "Can you hear us?" And then person B who had the headphones on would be like, "Yes, something, blah, 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 this is what I hear." And it was like, it was a conversation back and forth. I don't know if I described that very well. Dan, do you have anything to add to that?
No, like I think you described that fairly well. Like it, they're sort of just like describing, like you said, like sort of just saying what it is that they're hearing. And it ends up being like this weird conversation. It ends up syncing up where like the people on the one end who are asking the questions, where they have the people who are listening have noise canceling headphones on, so they can't hear anything that they're saying. They can only hear like the little bits of like radio talky bits in between the static. So like it's just this like weird, like I don't want to say like pure form of like doing it, but like it's a very like, I think a very clean method of doing it, because like just like someone is just being like pure channel with like without any input besides like what is being said.
Like the controls are in place, like in a scientific experiment, like it has all the controls in place, so you don't have leakage or anything coming across. Yeah. Interesting. Is this a show? Because I'm like just Googling it now.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a whole like documentary like show. There's 2 seasons.
Okay.
I highly recommend it. It's fantastic, and like it gets really weird. They do get into some like really neat like esoteric things. Where like it's interesting watching it being someone who is an occultist and like seeing them like just learn about these things. It's like, oh, good. Like, you're getting on board. Like, yes, this is what these things are. But like, I'm glad we're all getting to the same page at some point.
Season 2, they were fully on board. They were like trying to summon, I don't remember.
Pan.
Who?
They're trying to summon Pan.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The weirdest thing about Hellier for me was like, when I started watching it, it was just like I kept hearing it. People talk about it on the occult podcast circuit. And it was pandemic times and I was like, I got nothing to do. I'm out of work right now. I'm just going to finally fucking watch it. And I'm, in a way, I wish I wouldn't have, because it freaked me out so much. The weirdest synchronicity, because I had just moved into an apartment like by myself. I had roommates before that and I was solo, and then all of this weird alien shit they started talking about. And then in season 2 specifically, they went to Kentucky to look for goblins. In season 2, they go to this very specific small town in Kentucky that is very unheard of because it's so small. And I used to live there. And I was just like, oh fuck, that's so weird.
What?
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. It freaked me out so much.
Yeah.
It's Somerset, Kentucky. For anyone who's watching this that knows about that place, which is probably very few people, they went there. I used to live there for, I want to say like 3 years when I was a teenager, because my parents got divorced, and that was where the area that my mom was from. She wanted to move back to her hometown, and so I always hated it there. Right? It's like,
wait, your mom is from Somerset, Kentucky?
I think she was born in like a nearby town, but yes, that's where her and her family lived.
Oh my God, that's, no.
Yeah, it's so weird. And that was a weird place too. But I mean, as a teenager and being like pretty much like the only non-white person there, I already was having a bizarre experience. And that was also the time of my life when I started having I really, really fucking intense sleep paralysis all the time, very regularly, almost every night. And when it first started, I used to see these beams of light coming from all around my room. And so I was like 13 or 14 or something, and I had never heard of sleep paralysis. I didn't know what was happening to me. I was terrified. I thought aliens were coming to get me. And I ended up staying all night, like Googling this every night and finally figuring out what it is. But that's kind of how I got started in the occult. Because I was all night Googling this weird shit. And then, you stumble onto more stuff. And that's kind of what led me to all of this.
Wow, crazy.
I talk to a lot of people who say that when they have sleep paralysis, they get the same sensations that I do. Like it's like a buzzing feeling in the body, and you feel like you can't move. But if they have told me, like if you don't freak out and you just sort of lean into it and accept it, then that's when out of body experiences happen. Like if you get past that threshold, then you can what is the word I'm looking for? Astral project. That's the word I'm looking for.
So, do we? I feel like the meat of the conversation is, talking about Ghost in the Machine.
Right. Yes. So let's give some background on Ghost in the Machine. Now, this is something that Dan and I did together in 2018 or 2019. We started a thing called the Red Web Society. It was me, him, and another friend of ours that we met through the DKMU through like a previous group ritual that we had done. The whole concept of it is on the website if you want to get a little backstory of it.
It feels like it's been so long. It's only been like a couple of years. I think the idea of it was like mainly the three of us kind of wanted to just start doing group stuff again, because like we had all like been a part of that previous group, and we had disbanded, and so like we kind of wanted to do something again. So like the three of us got together, and using the concept of like the Elysian web with like Ellis and a linking sigil and all that, we kind of formed this concept of the red web. Really, like the first and only thing that we did was this, the contacting of a ghost in the machine.
The concept of the ghost in the machine is sort of like the spirit that lives behind technology, or the spirit of information, perhaps. It's kind of blurry, it's kind of fuzzy, which was part of the reason to go in. It just makes sense that there is something more behind the technology and the information and the connection and all of that stuff that we use all the time, right?
Well, you have all these people, everyday people, all of us every day are on the internet. We're on the internet right now, making this call. You're at home on the internet right now watching this, and we're just pouring our energy into these things for years and years and years and years. And like, if you are animist in any way, you feel that everything has a spirit of some sort. So like this concept, the internet, like has to have some form of spirit. It's been around. It's this thing that we conceptualize, that we hold dear, that we like pour our belief and our hope and our happiness and our anger and frustration into. We like give it all of these things. Such a big facet of our lives is surrounded and engulfed by it, that like there naturally something should form there. And I guess the idea was to try and get in contact with whatever that is and see what we could see.
The reason why we ended up only doing that one ritual was because we went in and something felt off. Something felt not right. And our third member, almost directly after that, he came in one day and he was like, "Look, guys, I think I'm gonna start taking a different approach to magic. I don't think I can do this anymore." And he bounced. And I don't blame him. But I wonder, if that particular ritual had something to do with it, because something.
I don't know. I will say, immediately following the ritual, I was physically ill. Like it was so like straining on my body. Like I was like physically sick in the bathroom afterwards.
Yeah.
Like it was a little intense.
Yeah.
A lot of energy coming through each person, the internet energy just siphoning down. Yeah.
I do think that part of it, and I tell about my experience because I logged everything, every detail of it, and it's on the website under like a spoiler wall, because I think for members that are going to do this month, if you don't want like a preconceived notion of what this is going to be, don't read it. Just do it and then read it later and compare notes. I will just briefly say, the world that we tapped into was not organic at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt very, very synthetic. And I think that's why we got such weird physical feelings afterwards. I don't remember much about the first one. I just remember a couple of days later thinking about it, and just something felt strange. And then the second time we did it, this was in like July.
Yeah.
I went back in, and when I got out of that ritual session, whatever you want to call it, I just felt like ravenous, like I could have eaten the whole entire world. But yeah, there was definitely like a physical response to that.
I tried making contact, but it was like I was hidden up against a wall that's like second time round.
Yeah.
Not quite sure. Like there was like I was getting like little bits and pieces, but it was like coming in like through like a filter, like a screen had been put up, and I just like wasn't getting past it, but I could like get little tidbits of light coming through. And I didn't try it since like it felt like, maybe maybe this is for the best right now. Maybe it's not my time to tap into whatever this is. I'm excited to go at it again and see like what.
Well, because of our experiences, and I kind of checked in with you before I posted this to the group, like, do you think this is okay? I do want everyone to know, and I posted this, but I'm just going to reiterate. If you go in, don't treat it like this is some sort of entity that's you should ask anything for, or you should try to negotiate with, or anything like that. Like this is something totally unknown that we've tapped into, and I wouldn't trust it. The idea is just sort of to like go in and figure out more about what's going on, like what this thing is.
I think it's safe to ask questions.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to, like you said, accept anything from it. Just because, this is new territory. We don't know what this thing's intentions might be. We don't know what like strings might be attached to anything you might accept. It's the standard rule whenever you like go into anything that's like brand new. Like, have your boundaries, have them be firm, and like just sort of, test the waters first. It's like a first date. We're just asking questions here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to say that it's hostile, but I didn't get super like cooperative vibes from it either. And then also, like I was saying earlier, how some things in magic work really well for some people and not well for others. Like some gods that other magicians I know leave regular offerings for, they have a really good relationship with them. And with those very same gods, when I try to work with them, I always feel like, they kind of tell me to get bent sometimes. I think it's going to be the same thing. Like maybe it will favor some of us more than others.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I think the important thing for people to know going into this is like, this isn't like a servitor or something that we created. This isn't like a god form that we like built. This is like something that we built a means to communicate with. So we don't really know what that is. We didn't put any of our intention into like making this thing. This thing was like already existing and chilling on its own. And we just kind of like zoomed in, was like, oh, hey, what's up?
And I also think that because it's built of information and all of the stuff that we put like into the internet and all of our thoughts and all of the stuff that you were talking about earlier, that means everything. That means all of the good shit and the bad shit and the ugly shit and everything that we put out there into this information world is in it. So it's probably extremely volatile.
Yeah, results may vary.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what other people, experience with it. This is like semi-untested waters right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Do a little divination about it first. Definitely put up some more wards. We talked about using augmented reality to create like a digital protection in a way. So you could do the LBRP with using this augmented reality. I think the app that I recommended was called
Space for iOS. It is something different for Android users.
Right.
So Lightspace is just, you can draw in virtual space and augmented reality in the room that you're in the physical space that you're in. Sort of like laying something over top of your reality using your phone in a digital space. And there are just so many possibilities for that. I can't even begin. Like you could do the LBRP using that, like physically drawing the pentagrams all around you in the space that you're in. Or you could do any other kinds of protection spells or wards or sigils or anything that you can think of drawn over top of your reality. So I think that's a very cool concept, and I would love it if you guys who are doing the Ghost in the Machine summoning this month, try to protect yourself in that digital space before going in, since we don't really know what the fuck we're dealing with, right?
I was going to ask that too. What do you suggest as far as like warding or protections if getting into that? So glad you brought that up.
I created a guided audio meditation. It's on our YouTube. This is the one that I use very often because it's easy. It's the orb of light protection. You can use LBRP obviously for literally anything. I just don't know that everyone in our group uses that or even knows how to, and or works within that paradigm of magic. So
Be a long time to come around to using it, you know. I had hang-ups, but I'm kind of down with it now, you know.
I really like it. I haven't had like a regular practice of using it in a while, but definitely I think is one of the best like cleansing and protections that you can use. Outside of that, if you are looking for something and you do not know what to use before going in for this spell, just go to the Orb of Light Protection. The link is up in week 12, and it's also on our YouTube. So here's the deal. We are week 12, we are summoning Ghost in the Machine and sort of going into its space and figuring out what it is and what's there. I am also going to create another guided audio meditation. So what you want to do is, you know, set up your space, get all of your sigils ready, like we did in the original Red Web Society version of this, using Ellis and Op Intruder. If you're not familiar with those, I've linked everything. Just read it. Just read the story.
I actually need to read about Op Intruder because I just remember seeing it come up and I was just very happy to see it. You know, I kind of got like the intention of it and I was like, all right, this is cool. Because it was back when like Chaos Magic was going down some gnarly roads, you know, so I was glad to see something positive like that, you know.
Op Intruder is very cool. He's an alien. And there was like a whole, what was it called? I posted it on the website. It was like the Operation Agent Manual, Intruder Agent Manual, or something like that. So it gives you like all of his sigils and kind of a breakdown of what each one does and a little bit of what he's about. He's a weird one, and he's not part of like the main pantheon of DKMU egregores. He's one that was created later, kind of like Hexorius, you know. We used him and Ellis to assist us in going in to see Ghost in the Machine.
It's funny because before this for this call, I was looking through like my notes and stuff to try and find my notes from that night, from, you know, the first time we did this, and they are inexplicably gone from both my computer and my phone. Like, I don't know where they went. They're just like vanished. And I tried to look through like Telegram to see like the old like notes, all that whole chain, it's gone. Like, it just vanished. The whole Red Web Society chain, I don't have it anymore.
I wonder if I do. I don't know. I didn't look.
Take a look. I mean, maybe it just got deleted because it's been like,
it was an offering,
you know, but like, I don't know. Like, I don't have any of the old things anymore. So I don't quite remember like much from that night. I remember like using binaural beats to sort of like get into like the headspace. I had like the whole like sigil thing posted up on my my computer background, and it was something. I won't say more than that. It was something. And then I got sick afterwards.
Well, I just think after everybody does it, we can be a little bit more open about our previous experiences, because I just don't want to like, I want it to be a true blind experiment where nobody has any preconceived notion of what this is. So we can really figure out what's going on. And, you know, when people come out of it, we'll just compare notes and see if we had similar experiences. Because I know you and I did.
Yeah, we'll see, you know, what happens to everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, look, guys, I'm not throwing you to the wolves or anything. This is a true experiment. You're not sacrificial.
We're doing it too, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. If it was like truly fucking evil, I wouldn't I wouldn't have posted this. I wouldn't have put people in danger or anything like that.
I've definitely like done some dangerous things before that I'm like, I'm not going to tell this to anybody because no one should do this. Like it was a mistake, and but I will put nobody else through this. This is not one of those things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've done some not so savory shit as well that I would not recommend. Yeah, so the summoning is going to be this Sunday. If you're watching this later, it's going to be October 3rd.
Birthday. That'll be fun. Yeah, that'll be a fun birthday event. Yeah, that'll be cool.
I'm October 10th.
Oh, sweet. So a week following. Oh, yeah.
So we're going to do it on the October 3rd. Eastern Standard Time, I put 5 to 7 p.m. or something like that. Essentially, I have a very early flight the next day, so I was trying to get it in like just after sundown, which is 6 p.m. here. There is going to be a guided audio meditation. You will need to do your protection ritual on your own first, then put on the guided audio meditation. And that's going to lead you through like summoning Ellis and Op Intruder, creating sort of like a network between, like in the theme of Red Web Society, a network between you and the other members of the group that are doing the same summoning. You know, I don't know if you even remember this then, but you had written a whole like incantation kind of thing. And how do you say this? Iranian
Barbaric.
Yeah.
I think that's how it's pronounced. I've only ever read it. I've never heard it said out loud, so I don't know. But,
yeah, it came for me. I've never heard it said out loud. So, you know, if we fuck that up, just forgive us. I swear we're illiterate. But yeah, so I'm going to add that in there, repeat the chant a few times in audio with some background music. I'm going to switch it up a little bit this time. I have been using this very typical kind of guided meditation background music for the ones that I created previously, because it's not so easy to find, you know, royalty-free background music. And so I just used what I could. This is going to be different, my friends. This is going to be like dark techno, fucking spooky, weird shit with incantations to summon the ghost in the machine. I'm switching it up.
Awesome.
And then after that, you know, you're a little bit on your own, but I do want some people to try these methods that I talked about in week 11, like the spirit box, which I will also be on. The TV static method, if you just want to, like, I say this all the time, it's not correct. If you just want to nose out to that. So ideally, like, we would have at least one person in each of these three, and then everybody else can do it however they want. It really doesn't matter. But I'd like to know what happens using these three methods. So, I mean, I'll be on the spirit box. I'll try to see if I can record it. That should be interesting. Because when you're doing it alone, you can't do the true method, right? It's not like somebody else is calling out questions. And we'll see what happens. I don't know. Sounds fucked.
Yeah.
See, the way that Din and I did it originally was just pure basic gnosis, no extra shit. You know?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately use what works best for you. I mean, if you want to try out something new, that's always great. Experimenting is in the spirit of,
Yeah. I mean, the way you're talking about it just keeps reminding me of like everything I used to read about Coronzon or whatever, you know, like that ghost in machine of just like all just, you know, it sounds almost like white noise, but on some weird other level, you know.
Last time, so the second time that I went in, it was like a place that we went to, right? Did you have the same experience?
The first time it was definitely like, without giving too much info, like you said, it was like there was a place, like a specific like space that like we were in. Second time couldn't get there, so I only have vague memories of the first. But interesting. I'm excited to see what other people describe as they go do this and experiment.
Yeah, it should be really interesting. I'm very excited about this. So, we did talk about Ghost in the Machine, which is the main thing that I wanted to talk about. We skipped over a week where I talked about digital cut-ups, though. And which is fine, just to briefly touch on it now. So digital cut-ups was really just another William S. Burroughs method. I think he originally started it like cutting up bits of text and rearranging them to form specific intent and impress it on the real world. And then later he started doing this with like audio and video. I did post one of his audio-visual cut-ups in week 10. Oh, I made one. For our friend Ian, who was supposed to be here tonight, but we'll catch him next time. Cutting up bits of video and audio together that sort of like make layers, where one is like the baseline in a way. And I'll describe this the way that William Burroughs did it. He had this coffee shop that he lived across from, and he hated this fucking place. He was so bitter about it. Like I guess it was like a hipster coffee shop that it was like gentrifying his neighborhood or whatever, and he was over it. And he said he got food poisoning from there a couple of times, and he wanted this place shut down. And so he did a cut up where it was a curse. And so for the baseline layer of it, he would go there and just record audio of this outside and inside the shop. And then impressed upon it, he would put like other sounds. I mean, there was some very weird specific stuff that he used, but I think I also heard that he did like car crashes and just like, horrific shit.
Like putting rusty nails in a jar.
Yeah.
Just like sounds of really bad stuff, maybe even like theoretically anything, screens, news reports of like bad things happening, businesses closing, whatever. That's the basic premise. You can do this both in audio and video. And he did this place ended up closing. Yeah, I mean, like, you don't have to do it, even if you want to do it in the text method. These days, there's digital ways of doing it. There is a cut up generator for text, and there are like 6,000 freaking apps for, video mapping.
I also used to do like a photo version of it. Like how I made the Ghost Machine sigil was just taking a bunch of different photos and just like cutting them and like throwing them together, having different layers and shit like that.
Yeah, and when we were in that original group, we did like picture ones. That was the whole premise behind the spider pictures that we did with the Ellis spider. It was a digital cut. Before we close out, because I know we've been on here a while and we have pretty much touched on all of the tech magic experiments that I did for this month, but was there anything that either you guys wanted to add or like other methods of tech magic that you know of or use?
We could go into like emoji spells and stuff like that, which like, is kind of like just casting a sigil. It's symbols, that have certain meanings inscribed with a certain intention. We don't have the time to really delve into my arguments about why that's extremely valid.
Oh, I posted that on week 11.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, yes, good.
I also think that they're valid, like, because in the way that the best way that I've heard somebody put this is they are like, emojis are like modern day hieroglyphs. And it can be used in the same way. And I really don't see the fucking difference. I think there are more emojis than hieroglyphs. Don't diss this kind of stuff. This is pop magic, and just because it's modern doesn't mean it's invalid. In fact, I think that kind of makes it a little bit cooler.
Absolutely.
You should be able to translate magic into your modern day world.
Interesting thinking about the undercurrents of just how magic, manifests throughout different cultures and times and, lifestyles.
I mean, Dan is in New York and you're in Austin and I'm traveling right now, but I was in DC. Like, we are people who live in urban environments who need it. Like, not everybody is in a place where they can be totally in tune with nature all the time, like live off of the land and, you know, talk to forest spirits. You need urban magic too. You need city magic. You need stuff that works in whatever environment that you're living in. The Hexorius paradigm talks about this a bit in a really good article. Just as there are forest spirits, there are city spirits too. Animism is not just for the trees and the clouds and the mountains. It's also for the pavement and the buildings and the skyscrapers and the fucking gutters, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All the lampposts and transformers and, you know, all the buzzing and popping. I mean, it is alive and electrical, you know, so.
Yeah, 100%.
Looks like we're almost out of time on this Zoom, so yeah.
Yeah, why don't we wrap it up here? It was really nice talking to you guys.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you joining me for this very first sort of trial version of the Guerrilla Magick. We'll just call it a podcast.
Cool.
Yeah, and then we will discuss more on the Discord, both before and after we start this week's experiment of summoning Ghost in the Machine. So for those that are listening, if you have not joined us yet and you would like to participate in this experiment, old ones, new ones, whatever, we're only on week 12, we got a whole ton of weeks to go. Hop on in on the Discord, or if you want to do it on your own pace, you can even just follow us on the website. All the exercises are posted there weekly. Thank you so much, guys. All right.
Everybody, good night.
Bye. Bye. Good night.
Thanks for listening to the first episode of the Guerrilla Magick podcast. We hope you enjoyed it and will continue to join us for more experiments, discussions, and all-around occult-related content. Check out our links in the description for more information, and as always, don't forget to stay strange and raise hell.